Welcome to Heavy Petting with Cheri Hardman. Oh, wait, I got to ask you first. I always not know, is it Ramos or Ramos?
I say it Ramos.
Ramos. Okay.
Everybody else in my family says it Ramos. I'm the only one that says it Ramos.
Oh, well, it's your name, so that's
Yep,
what you figured.
you figured that out.
All right, welcome to Heavy Petting with Cheri Hardman. Today's guest is Tony Ramos. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Cheri.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah, how you been? This is Polly.
Polly?
Yeah, Polly.
Polly?
Yeah.
How old is Polly?
Polly will be 2 years old on August the 2nd, so she's almost 2 years old.
And what kind of dog is she?
She's a multi-poo. She's a Maltese poodle, and then we really don't know everything about her because she is from China. She's the dog that we got from China. My daughter found her online down in Los Angeles, and then she flew into LAX with all of her papers, and she has more papers than I do, as a matter of fact. But she flew into LAX and then came up from China to LA up to Seattle, and we got her through our daughter.
Wow. So tell me what it was like when you first had her, like the first day you had her.
The very first day that we got her, the very first day that my daughter got her, my daughter had tickets to a Michael Bublé concert, and she got away. She escaped from her friend who was watching her, and she spent all night in a really nice area just outside of Los Angeles, and she was a runaway. And so my daughter missed the Michael Bublé concert. They came home and looked for her for about almost 24 hours, and then she came back later that day, and he had put treats. My daughter's significant other had put treats all around their house, and she came back almost like 24 hours or 20 hours later or whatever. It was daytime, and so she was an escapee, and then she came here with my daughter on the plane. And we have another dog in the house, and they've just gotten along really famously ever since she's been here. So we've had her a little over a year in April. We got her in April a year ago, so she's well acclimated now.
Does she do any tricks, or does she have any weird quirks or anything unusual about her?
She does. Yes, she does do some tricks. Our other dog has about 15 or so tricks that she does. So the hardest one that she has is having patience to wait while the other dog does her tricks. And she'll stand up and she'll give you a high five for a treat. And she mostly does all of her tricks for Betty. I mostly give her food whenever I eat, so she eats basically whatever I do, and she'll go outside, and she goes outside and goes to the bathroom on command when I'm commanding her to. So the only trick that I've really taught her is to go outside and go pee, and she will do that. Yeah.
All right. So if she were going to write a review of you as an owner, what would she say?
She would say that I'm gone a lot during the daytime, but that every time that I have something to eat, she gets some, and she gets cream cheese every morning before I go to work. I give her and Boo Boo like a little, not just kind of like a fingerful or whatever of cream cheese every day before I go to work. And she really looks forward to me whenever I come home, because I think she's always hungry. She's really skinny, but she's one of those people like a lot of skinny people like eat all the time and they stay skinny. She's one of those kids. She eats all the time, but she stays skinny. She keeps her girlish figure, but she eats all the time.
Lucky dog.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. So she's really She's really, really been a good dog. She will not. She has just learned in the last few months to like kiss you in the face, or to give you little kisses on the face. But I don't know where that came from or what her true beginning was over in China. But she got out alive, and so I
Yeah,
think that's the best thing, is that she got out alive.
for sure. All right,
Yeah.
if she wants to get down, she can get down
Oh
now.
yeah.
Done.
Oh yeah.
If
Sure.
not, you can keep holding her because we're gonna
Yeah. No.
we're gonna start talking about heavy petting of the human variety right now,
All
and
right.
I always have to explain right here because the youngsters don't necessarily know our terminology.
Oh,
So
I know.
yeah, so heavy petting back in the day was what we used to call making out or getting to second base or third base. Um, so as far as my show goes, it's let's under the umbrella of anything that has to do with dating, sex, heavy petting, making out, anything like that. So, do you have any stories in that realm that you would like to share with us?
Oh, I do, absolutely, and I do, Cheri. Let's not even beat around the bush, as you would even call it. Of course, I have a heavy petting story. I used to go to a youth group in church, and I had a friend named Roxanne Moon. And Roxanne Moon was a friend of the man and woman that ran the youth group at the church that I went to, and she was just like maybe 2 years older, a year and a half. She was an older woman, and we were just teenagers, of course, but she was an older woman. But boy, did she love to make out, and I just loved heavy petting with Roxanne Moon. That takes me back to a long, long time ago. We're talking about to the '70s, to the early and mid '70s, and yeah, Roxanne Moon was a lot of fun. But we would go to these events, and it seemed like everything was like a long ways away. And so we would be sitting like right behind the youth pastor and his wife, making out the whole time. And I know that they knew what was going on. So it was kind of interesting to be kind of making out while that the youth pastor and his wife are sitting, just a seat or so in front of us in the Volkswagen minivan as we were going down the road. So yeah, that was a lot of heavy petting. Yeah, back in our day, making out was the thing to do. We didn't go straight to the home run. We had to walk around the bases lightly sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that made it better too. But
Well, it certainly made it for more exciting, and it kind of extended. I think it extended a lot of relationships a lot of times, because you never got to third base, but you sure got to second base, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, working your way up to third base. I didn't know anything about going around the base and going home for a long time, so it made things very interesting. Heavy petting was certainly hits home today for us, or for me.
right. So Roxanne Moon, like
Uh-huh.
that sounds like a character in a movie. That name, like
It
she's
was.
gonna be like a sex pot if her name is Roxanne Moon.
I know, and she had her sister. She had a sister, and I was trying to remember because I knew that I was going to be coming up for heavy petting, and she had a sister that was my age, but for the life of me, I cannot remember Roxanne Moon's sister's name. I can only remember Roxanne Moon's name. So there was in that youth group that we had in that church youth group, there was a girl named Cuppy, who was it was a childhood name, as it turned out. I didn't even know that Cuppy was not a name for her big boobs that she had, but it was because she always had those. But it was just a name that she had, like a little coffee cup or whatever, Cuppy, and there was just all kinds of kids in that group that we were all just kind of make out kings and queens in the church youth group. So You did. I don't even know how much I ever paid attention in church. I just know that we got a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, you know, I was in church youth group too, and there was a lot of that going on at our church too. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is. Something in the, it's a forbidden.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't really know, but I know that in a lot of different church youth groups, like when we would go to a place like Six Flags, I lived in Fort Worth, Texas, so we would go to Six Flags, which was like a small Disneyland or a big amusement park and stuff like that, and we would go with other youth groups. We would all meet there and stuff. It would all kind of be like the same thing. There would be like a group of people that would go on the long dark ride, so we could all have our own little time together. So yeah, it did. It was very interesting back in those days. The good
Yeah,
old church group.
yeah, that was fun. So we're close. How old are you? You're close
I'm
to my age.
62.
Okay.
I'm 62. I'll be 63 in October. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just a couple of years older than me.
Yeah.
So it was all during the same time. Yeah. Well, okay, what's the best compliment anyone's ever given your naked body?
The best. You know, I don't really have I don't remember ever really a lot of compliments that I've ever really gotten to my naked body, but I've been told that back in the day I had bedroom eyes. I've always had like these really long eyelashes and these dark eyebrows, and my eyes are really dark brown. So I've been accused of having bedroom eyes, which I don't even know what that really means for sure. But yeah, bedroom eyes, these kind of these brown eyes you can gaze into for days or nights or whatever that is. Whatever that really means, I'm not for sure.
Uh, um, that's a nice compliment. It really is. So
Yeah.
have you been going out to any of the open mics that they've been doing in person these days?
Well, I haven't done any open mics, during this pandemic, the COVID, but I did do the Tacoma Comedy Club on Wednesday, so 2 nights ago,
Uh-huh.
and I really had a really good time, and I'm the kind of comedian that whenever I go on stage, I've never been heckled because I don't think I ever take a breath in the 4 or 5 minutes that I'm on stage. So I had on a mask. I had on a face shield. I had on gloves, and I had on eye protection even under my shield. And so I talked about I was the COVID hunter, and so I did that. I had a really fun time at the Tacoma Comedy Club a couple of nights ago. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I miss it a lot. Miss seeing everybody for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really miss going to the different places and seeing the different people perform and really what they have to say. I do comedy for me. I do comedy to make me happy, and if you get something out of it, that's joyful for me to hear that you got something out of my comedy. But quite honestly, I really do my comedy, and I really enjoy my comedy for myself, and I go up there to make me happy, and if you get something out of it, that's great. But otherwise, as long as I'm happy with what I've done on stage, I'm really that's what I'm really all about with my comedy. It's really about to make my heart joyful, and that's what I really enjoy about the open mic comedy. I've never really tried or wanted to be such a great professional comedian, but open mic comedy is kind of an opportunity to be silly and not take yourself super seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if people wanted to find you, how'd they be able to find you?
Well, I do respond back quite often on Facebook at Tony Ramos, and I have a picture of a bulldog with a little cat sitting next to him. That's how you would find me. But I have an Instagram at ts Ramos 157.
Okay.
And but I don't really respond a lot to that. So really, my social media connection is my Facebook
Okay.
profile.
Yeah. That's the older people. We're Facebook people.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
I just I
Snapchat.
don't really get Yeah, I don't get into too much of the social media so much, maybe even like I should, but I do pay attention to Facebook quite a bit. Whether I should or not, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. All right.
Right.
Well, thank you for hanging out with me here tonight.
Well, absolutely, Sherry. I hope I gave you all the good information you really wanted with a heavy petting theme.
You did. Yeah, good job. I'm excited. I'll let you know when this comes out. I've started bleeding for some reason, so I'm having
Oh my
a little,
gosh.
it looks like a cat scratch, but I don't know what it is. So
Yeah, that's the one thing about getting old. Whenever you get a little older, you get a little bitty skin tear. Goodbye.
all right. Well, have a good night, Tony. Thank you.
All right, Sherry. Thank you. I'll see you later.
Bye.
What's on her mind? She's a big, big girl in a skinny woman's world. Now she's a big, big girl in a skinny woman's world. Now she's